Morgan. I am so happy that you were able to catch Tiffany's book look yesterday, and I am excited to be able to share with you some more books that would fit with your 7-year-old's age and interest. I wanted to start off with some sports and animals books, but then I'm going to move into some chapter books. I know you said he really doesn't like reading those chapter books, so I wanted to try to find some that might interest him and that have interested my son, who is also in the very same spot that he is. So first thing I'm going to mention is one of our newest titles, and that's A Job. It's a cool series, and this was I Like Sports. What jobs are there? I love, this is actually for 7 and up. I love that it creates jobs, or it shares jobs with you that may not be on somebody's radar, like community sports coordinator or nursing home facilitator, writing instructor, if it happens to be with that type of sport, Olympic events coordinator, which I thought was really cool. Never thought about that. A referee, because that is a job. And then, of course, sports marketing executive. What's really great about these books is they're going to walk you through what that is, and then it's the best part and the worst part of my job, and it actually interviews someone who then will tell you all about that particular job and the ins and outs and what's best about it and what's worst about it. So I like this one. It's a great book for anybody who really loves working in the sports fields. Now, there's also one, I Like Animals. What jobs are there? So there are two that are right there off the bat that are interest-based for him. Now, two more that I love, actually multiple ones, but I'm going to share two of them. If you know who Bear Grylls is, and I'm actually going to share a chapter book idea here as well. If you know who Bear Grylls is, he's a survivalist. He does shows on Discovery Channel. There's one on Netflix that's really super cool where you get to actually interact with it. Lots and lots of fun things there. But he has created a series. He went out to Peter Usborne and he said, hey, look, kids aren't getting out. Let's see if we can do something about that. And so he actually created a whole series. I love his bigger books. These are extreme. This is Extreme Planet. I love these books. It does talk animals in here. It also talks some sports, some climbing and things like that. It talks about all those extreme places on the globe and what lives there and how you can manage life there, which is really, really cool. I do really enjoy that book. Another part of his series is this one. This is Epic Expeditions. We also have Epic Climbs. I love that this is actually history based. So it talks about Lewis and Clark or Livingston or even Amundsen and Scott. So you're going to talk about those epic expeditions that we learn about in school. And then, of course, he's going to be telling his part about each one of these particular expeditions. So what's really neat about it is you're getting his feedback on something that took place in history. So you're getting that history component as well as those animals and plants and even some sports related material to those expeditions like kayaking. Really, really cool. Now, along with that, he also has a chapter book series. I know I mentioned this to you already. These are called the Bear Grylls Adventures. This happens to be Jungle Challenge. There are multiple ones in the series. I want to say there's at least 9 of them now. I love that these are written where you can read any of them. It doesn't matter if you read all of them. It's a series, but they are not in order of any kind. Although I think if you read Jungle Challenge, you'll understand it a little bit more, but they really all work out really well. I like the fact that there are pictures in here, so it really keeps their interest, and it's such a great story. I love that they experience life in the wild, which is such an adventure, and it's such a really cool thing. They're all at a summer camp, and each one of the main characters has some type of character flaw, and they get a little magic compass, and this little magic compass takes them on a solo expedition with Bear Grylls. They transport to where Bear Grylls is, and they have to get out of that situation and overcome that character flaw that they have. So it's real character development throughout. I love that it actually has a great sense of value to the child, as well as teaching them some really cool things about that particular area that they go to, the jungle, and of course, more importantly, that moral of how to overcome whatever is causing them to struggle. So check out the Bear Grylls chapter book series. Now let's move on to some animals. This one is probably one of my favorites to read. This is The Alphabet of Peculiar Creatures, and it is not for little kids learning an alphabet. I promise you that. It is such a cool book. I love that it actually gives the key to how to pronounce something, and it talks about crazy animals. Like A is for axolotl, and it gives you some information about an axolotl, or E is for ermine, or F is for frigate bird. You learn so many good things in here. My son loves Wildcrats, although we haven't watched it in a while. But as we would read through this book, he would be like, oh, I know about that from Wildcrats. So it's great, really interesting creatures that are in here. It's great for animal lovers, and it's fabulous for working on vocabulary building. So I love this one. Another picture book, my son still loves picture books, so another picture book that I actually love is Steve, Terror of the Seas. And it is something that I have a lot of first and second grade teachers purchase. It is all about mutualism and symbiosis. So Steve is a pilot fish, and it's hilarious because he's like, everybody hates me, nobody likes me, I don't know why, I'm just a little fish. I'm just a little pilot fish, I don't know why everybody hates me. But then you get to meet his friend that he has a symbiotic relationship with. I wonder why they don't hate Steve. They don't really hate him, do they? They really hate him. They're scared of him. So it's such a great book, and it does give you some information in the back about symbiosis and mutualism. So that's kind of cool. Last but not least on these, the life-size picture book that we talked about yesterday. I love these books. So many great things. I love that you get to compare and contrast. It tells you what to do, and then at the same time, you're going to get more information on that next page. I mean, at this point, at the beginning, you get to give a polar bear a high five and compare your hand to that polar bear. So he is right on the cusp of this, but it is a fantastic book. My son still loves it, and he's almost 8 years old. So check out Life Size as well. Now, for those chapter books, I wanted to mention a couple. One of them is going to be our Game Day series. Game Day is written by Patty Mills, who is an NBA basketball player. He is from Australia, and it chronicles his life growing up with the game of basketball. I think this one is superb for those sports lovers. It's something that really catches them, and it gives life lessons inside it as well. So it's really great for that age range. Another book, and I told you this one already, this is Billy and the Mini Monsters. My son and daughter love this. My daughter can't read yet, so my son reads this to her. It is a graphic novel style, which I think is really cool, and one of the things my son loves about it, and what my daughter loves about it the most. The only one you have to read in order is you have to read Monsters in the Dark first to really get the full understanding. It's where all the monsters are introduced to Billy, and then fun ensues. Poor Billy. He is strapped with these mini monsters who are not scary at all, but they are really bad for him because he gets in trouble because of them. So it's a really, really great series and lots of fun. We love Billy and the Mini Monsters. And I want to show you this one last but not least. This is the Fizz series. This is actually book 3. Book 1 is upstairs with my son. But this is actually book 3. This series is fantastic. I love the fact that it is written for that 2nd to 4th grade age range. It's hilarious. It's a great adventure story. And what's really cool is Fizz is a police dog. And so they get to go on adventures to solve mysteries. And I think it's a great way to introduce mysteries to young kids. And it's super, super fun because at this point, most kids at 7 years old haven't really been given a mystery to read. And so it really gives them that opportunity to see if that's a genre that they like. So Fizz, love it. Okay, I hope this helps. We will chat soon. Don't forget you won our on-time award. So I can't wait to chat with you about that. Have a great night.